Here and we'll get started.
Yeah.
Great to have you back for another Behind the Leads. We've got Robert Blake with Arkansas Federal Credit Union. And Robert has been kind enough to join us here. He's head of digital marketing for Arkansas Federal Credit Union. Robert, thanks for jumping in.
No, thanks for having me, Jimmy.
And it's always fun to get people from kind of around the country in different areas, whether it's a loan officer or someone in marketing. You guys, we've been working with you for maybe year and a half, 2 years, and you're far and away ahead of your peers on the way that you utilize your CRM and the way the stuff that you do your tracking. So I wanted to bring you in to kind of tell your story about where are you from? Where is Robert from? Where did you get started in life?
Yeah. So I was born in Florida, but really can't claim that too much, other than maybe about a year and a half of living there. And then my folks were in the Air Force, and uh, they hang on. Let me start that over.
Yeah.
uh, so born in Florida, then lived there for about a year. So I really don't claim Florida as my home state or anything. My parents were affiliated with the military. They met in here at the Little Rock Air Force Base back in the 70s, and so decided to move back to Arkansas, where I've lived ever since then, since about 82, I believe. And so just lived all around the state, different parts of it, from Cabot, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, all the way down to Fordyce, Arkansas, if anybody happens to know where that is. So I got a really good lay of the land of the state and the people here. But now just reside here in Little Rock. Yeah, I've been here since 95, and love it. It's a great town, easy to get around. I mean, it's one of those where you're not too separated from knowing someone that knows somebody else. So the degrees of separation are
Mhm.
really small. So it's just a great town to live in. But yeah, sorry, where do you want to go from there?
So your passion when you were in college, what were you thinking you were wanting to do as a career?
Yeah, so I actually took a gap year out of high school, and I went to work for a web design agency
Okay.
here in Little Rock. They just hired me straight out of high school, and so got to work, building various websites for Arkansas Parks and Tourism, all the way to Elvis Presley Enterprises, which had a whole host of websites from Graceland to Elvis.com, to a lot of different other properties. So I really, got all my skills from that job, like knowing how websites work, how to market them, how to just maintain them, and everything like that. So that's where I got a lot of my base. But then went back to college a year later, after doing that, and then pursued a degree in technical writing and information technology minor. And so, but I've always been just in the IT or web digital marketing space for all of my career. Like uh, when I was right getting out of college, I worked for a franchise company where I was both their IT director and also over the digital marketing for them. And that was really the first place where I got into lead generation, uh, uh, for a lot of what we do now, because it was a franchise company, and so they were generating a lot of leads for people who wanted to open up their own franchise. So I really got to know different platforms and traffic, places to bring traffic in for leads, and really got good at Google AdWords,
Mhm.
which is what it's called at the time. It's now called Google Ads, but really understood pay-per-click marketing, and how to drive leads through that channel.
What year was that, roughly?
That was a
Years.
Yeah, that was 2006
So
was
that
when
was
that.
that was very early in Google AdWords.
Yeah, yeah. When I was at the first agency, the whole pay-per-click advertising was starting to come on the scene, and it was kind of crazy now that I think about it, because you used to be able to see what the cost per click was on one of these sites, and I'm trying to. It wasn't Google. It was another type of search engine, but they would show you like what the cost per click was on there, because it was so new, and no one knew what that was, and everyone thought, oh well, if I run ads on here, all my competitors are just going to click my ads,
Mhm.
and cost me a bunch of money, and I'm not going to get any results. But it was really kind of neat to see that, because now all of that is behind the scenes, and you see it through the Google Ads platform, and where you want to run your ads.
Got it. So you were learning the ropes and running Google Ads. You probably were the only person in the entire company that knew how to log into Google Ads at that point, right? I mean, even
Yeah.
now it's. I always tell people sometimes with Google Ads now you have to have like a PhD. It's not easy. It's definitely not an easy platform. You can get up and running pretty quick, but to learn and to build all the tracking and things that you need. So you go from that job and you kind of cut your teeth there. And how did you find yourself in the banking, credit union, finance side of things?
Yeah, after I left the franchise company, that was 2009, and we all know what happened around that time. But
Hmm.
franchising just wasn't a popular thing to get into at that point. So I left that and went to work for the American Taekwondo Association, which is
Uh,
headquartered here in Little Rock, and help them out with all their various websites and that they had. And then a friend of mine, he was leaving this agency here in town called Flex 360, and he was kind of a project manager, business development role. And he asked me if I would be interested in and taking over his role. And I was absolutely. I wanted to get back into the agency world and start working with various different clients. So did that for 6 years. And through that, I was really exposed to a lot more different variety of clients, and a lot of that was some of those were in banking. We worked with several banking clients and building their websites, and so I just kind of saw us kind of building a niche in banking and finance, and really wanted to develop that out. And so we brought on several more clients in the banking industry, and then that and then one day my now boss, Valerie Erkman, she came in to talk to us about redesigning the credit union website that they had at the time. And it was really just kind of some early talks. They were still under contract with their current provider, and so we were just trying to get to know each other basically. But uh, then what's kind of interesting is nothing came about that immediately, but I got a LinkedIn alert one day that said the credit union was looking to hire a senior online consultant. I think that might have been the title of it. And so I kept on seeing that, and it kept on popping up for several months, and kind of wondered what was going on with that. And then one day, Valerie just gave me a call out of the blue and said, "Hey, do you want to come work for the credit union? We've been trying to look for someone to fill this role, and I said, yeah, let's talk, and so uh, I ended up coming in and interviewing with a panel of people here at the time, and and then one thing, led to another, and I was working here about a month later, and so I was, really coming into, they had a website going. It was kind of more, a brochure type of website. I
Mhm.
had all the relevant info and products and everything on it, but it was, we needed to develop more. There was just more we could do, not only with the website, but with email marketing and social media. And so just really came in and started building out a plan for all of that.
Do you remember your first big project? What was the first thing that you worked on?
So email marketing, because they were using Constant Contact when I came in, and it was more your kind of batch and blast campaigns where you just upload a list of who you wanted to send it to, and then fire out one email, and that was kind of it. And I was trying to, kind of condition them on it, like, hey, we need to better keep track of who's receiving what, and if they're getting more than one touch point, and because email is really effective when you can do it multiple times over, with the same product, just different kind of messaging, it really resonates that way. So I came in, we got on a email marketing and automation platform called ActiveCampaign, and just really started developing a lot of different automations. Trying to get the emails all situated where they weren't going to spam or anything like that. It just really it took time to build that all out, and it's still going to this day. We're doing even more with it. My team is now, it was just me back about 7 years ago. But now we've got two digital strategists on the team, as well as a web developer on the team that just, helped me out getting all of this accomplished. But we're now building out a lot of what we call always on campaigns or automations, to where we're just, with like mortgage specifically, we're bringing in leads through Banking Bridge. They're coming in, and then they're getting a full, almost like 3 months worth of
Mhm.
emails and SMS, and also push notifications uh, through these automations that we built out.
So how long were you a one-man show? How many years? Was it
Uh,
did you have a couple people, or was it always just you for a couple of those early years?
yeah, it was summer of 2020. I was able to bring on Mariah
Wow.
uh, onto the team, and she came in. We had about 2 days worth of training during COVID, sitting opposite ends of our boardroom in our old Jacksonville location, and just said, "Hey, here's where everything is," and then just went and worked from home, and then we eventually all came back to our new headquarters about I think that was about 2022, and then we brought on a web developer, and then another digital strategist later on. So
So you guys have a fantastic website, and it sets the standard on what is possible with not, a small to mid-size, a very good sized credit union, and you kind of raise the bar on what is possible. Who came up with, was that one of your projects?
yeah, so that was about 2021. I want to say that we started building out the new design that we have out there today. And we were with another platform that was part of our digital banking software, and we kind of split with that so we could kind of do our own thing, do our own programming
Mhm.
and plugins and customizations and things like that. So we're really thoughtful about, okay, what CMS are we going to put it on? We decided we would go with WordPress since that was the most flexible, and it would also allow us to kind of hire web developers that knew that platform. So it wouldn't be such a huge learning curve if it was, something that's just, that no one's really worked with before. So we got that foundation set, got a lot of content pages built out, but we didn't have lead generation turned on when we launched that site. We ended up bringing lead gen for all of our loan products in probably about 8 months later, I want to say. And when we got a full-time web developer on staff, so we could build that out. And that's just really well. Hang on, let me step back. So we had lead gen built out for our paid media pages that we had. So if you did a Google search, found us, and then clicked one of those ads, it went to a landing page that was a funnel, and where it started collecting your name, email, and phone number essentially, and that's what we started supplying to ActiveCampaign. Man, I want to back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry because this actually, now that I'm recalling all this happened during COVID. So anyways, cut. So COVID was an interesting time for us, like it was for everybody else out there, and all of our branches, basically didn't have any walk-in traffic anymore. So we had started early on in 2020 to start driving leads for our checking products, because at the time we had a 3% checking account, and we were bringing in leads for that. But then in March, COVID hit, and branches closed up, but there was still staff to work drive-throughs and things like that. But I thought, well, we really need to get our other lead gen started for all of our other products. And so I quickly scrambled. I worked for about 2 weeks with our paid digital marketing company at the time, and built out landing pages for auto refi, home equity loan, personal loan, credit cards, all of that. Just built those out, expedited, so we could start bringing in leads. And one of the things that took off like a rocket ship was auto refi, because rates dropped at that time. We had a really low rate. I think it was about a 1.99 for 36 months, and then I think it dropped down to 0.99 at one point. And we just really saw a lot of tremendous growth from that through the lead generation. And I mean, we were hearing stories of like, contacted one lead, and they had 3 cars they wanted to refinance, or we're talking to people in different pockets of the state that we don't even have a branch in. So there's a lot of good stories coming out during that time, that we were able to help a lot of people just refinance and get a better monthly payment on their car. So we doubled down on it with the new website that we developed about a year later, and we brought lead generation into what we call kind of the organic or direct or marketing website that all traffic kind of comes to, because previously all that traffic to those other pages was coming from Google Ads and other various places where we were putting paid ads at. So we on our landing pages on the new website, we put lead capture box before they get to the loan application system, because we know that there was a lot of fall off in the in the
Mm,
application process. Like people would get maybe to a certain point and they don't have their VIN number or whatever
hmm.
the case may be, and so they kind of fall out. So we were able to capture all that, and then we have a consumer lending team that would then follow back with all those leads. So if they saw that so and so didn't complete the application, they'd call them back and kind of see how they could help them through that. And so we really developed that consumer lending team once the branches started opening back up again, and those FSRs and everything in the branches couldn't really handle the leads anymore because they were getting walk-in traffic again. So we had this consumer lending team that was following up on all the leads.
So here's Robert. Robert is a rainmaker. He's the guy making it rain, and you walk into a meeting with your bosses or whoever that is, and you're in 2020 or 2021, and you're having great success with these auto campaigns. How do you connect a lead to revenue? What are you using Salesforce at the time? What is convincing them to give you more money to spend on ads? Is there a specific metric that you remember?
Yeah, it's not sophisticated. I mean, we're doing a lot of manual kind of matching in the back
Yeah,
end of it. I mean, we're
it's
uh,
still spaghetti on the back end. It's like still kind
yeah,
of spaghetti. Yeah,
yeah, it looks great on the front end, but still there's kind of a lot of manual uh,
yeah.
works that's being done. So we'll, start comparing the leads and the names and the phone numbers and email addresses to what was a funded loan,
Yeah.
in our core. And so it was just a lot of manual matching like that, which is fine. I feel it's good to just, comb through that and making sure that, you're matching, the right lead with the right
Hmm.
application that came in. So I don't really have anything super sophisticated that would instantly tell me if that person booked. We're getting there. That's a lot of just integration work that has to happen for it. But we're very pleased with the way we're able to track everything currently.
And so you guys adopted Salesforce at some point, maybe a couple of years
No,
ago.
no, we
No,
didn't do Salesforce. No,
don't you have? What are you using?
we're using Active Campaign.
That's where I thought you guys had Salesforce just for whatever reason. Okay,
Yeah.
so all these leads go into Active Campaign, and that's where you're managing everything.
Yeah, so
Got it.
Active Campaign has a small CRM built into it. Um,
Yeah.
their real bread and butter is on the email and marketing automation side, but then they have a
Okay.
kind of a small CRM that allows uh, the uh, the reps to you manage their pipelines.
Hmm.
Um, but and it's pretty simple. It's we built out some deal stages for them, and they just kind of move leads along as they get in contact with them or get an application done with them, and then eventually, a funded loan. So
Got it.
that's kind of how we're keeping up with that.
And so when we talk to customers about their website, website is something that's especially nowadays is you should always be improving. How often do you guys look at the site? Whether it's because you do banking, you do mortgage, you do everything, correct? For the credit union.
Right. Yeah.
So are you constantly improving the site? What does that timeline look like? Is it like a 3 month? Is it quarterly? Is it daily? Is it monthly? How do you look at your website from like a maintenance and design and just usability standpoint?
Yeah, so we got a great team in-house. We've got product strategists that are over different product groups like mortgage or uh, credit cards or personal loans or deposit products. So they're constantly looking at their pages, making copy improvements to them. My team is kind of helping them out with the layout and design of all those pages, so it kind of flows nice and has all the relevant information that people are looking for. We're looking at analytics. We're also looking at heat maps and where people are clicking, on the site. And so taking that all into account to refresh the pages on a regular basis. We're actually going through a refresh right now. We're not doing a complete website redesign because it's still a great website and
Hmm.
functioning and converting for us, but we're going in and kind of refreshing a lot of the landing pages. And uh, one of those is kind of putting a lot more of the relevant info in that top, above the fold section that people will call it, putting in, probably 80% of what you need to know about this product
Hmm.
within that first view of loading the page.
Hmm.
That's it's tough to do in a mobile world as well because I mean, like we're constantly working on desktops, but then we need to go over in mobile and look how that's being laid out and making sure that information is visible within just a few swipes of the thumb
Hmm.
on the page. And that's a process. I mean, it takes time. We got to rewrite copy. We got to, come out with new wireframes of how we're going to lay it all out, and then, just implement it too. So it's taken some time, but having an in-house team that can do all of those functions, is extremely helpful for us. I mean, it just flows a lot better.
Hmm. So you've got your team that you hired, and from the people that we interact with, um, they're all very good. What do you, when you're hiring for, let's say it's some sort of digital marketing role, or they're managing some sort of specific product? What nowadays with folks coming out of school, what do you look for when you're hiring somebody? Let's say they don't have any, whether they have experience. Do you want them to have experience? Are you okay if they don't have experience? What do you find it works best for you?
Yeah, I look for people who have experience in the digital space. If they've worked in digital marketing or been a part of any digital campaigns. But I'm not necessarily looking for people who have like bank digital marketing
Hmm.
experience because I know that that's super, tough to get into, around here. There's only probably so many places that you can work at to get that. We When we do put out jobs for like our product strategist roles. I mean, we do get a lot of inquiries from people who have worked in marketing at a bank, so that's good for that. But on the digital marketing side, I'm just looking for people who have, you know, built a website or built an email campaign for somebody else because that's really just the fundamentals that you
Hmm.
need to know is how to build those out and not necessarily how to work in the system that we have, but just knowing how an email gets sent to, 100,000, 10,000 people
Hmm.
or more. Like our web developer, Brittany, she came to us from Dillard's, which is a large retail store here in the area, and she worked on clothing landing pages
Hmm.
for women's clothing, and so she knew what it took to build out pages to get people to click and get people to go to a product page and then eventually buy. And she had deep experience with different members of that team that made it all happen. So I
Yeah.
mean. She was able to bring all that into here, and so it's just helpful. We're not starting, from zero on, uh, teaching someone how to
Teaching them.
build a website. We're able to kind of
Yeah.
jump in and hey, here's you know a week or so's worth of training, and then then it's yours. Like I mean.
Hmm.
We like to just when I came here, I mean, I was given a username and password to the content management system and said good luck,
Right.
because there was no one else here at the time that could just help me out with it. So I was
Hmm.
figuring out a lot about it, and where everything was at, and just trying to get orientated with it. But now, we've got a good sized team that anyone can help out and jump in. Especially, with my team, we're all, super great and fantastic at email, paid media, the website, all of that. But then we lean on our product strategist for all the relevant content.
Hmm.
We got an in-house copywriter that writes all of our disclosures and all of our copy and everything for the site. So that's extremely helpful for us.
Wow. So none of that existed when you first started 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was really just me, uh, our CMO Valerie, uh, uh, our marketing VP of marketing at the time, and graphic designer and a marketing director. So it was, you know, super small and agile team
Hmm.
to get a lot going. And like I said earlier, when I came in, they were just kind of doing these one-off email campaigns, and I said, look, guys, there's a tremendous opportunity to do more than one email,
Hmm.
about a product that you want to get out there. Because I mean, I take a lot of learnings from what people in the direct to consumer space or e-commerce space do. I mean, you don't just get one email from
Hammer you.
those places. I mean, yeah, it might seem annoying, and like, oh, I'm getting this stuff, but I mean, it's super effective.
Hmm.
We get a lot of our outstanding open rates with our emails, and I mean, we're also making sure we're delivering emails to the
Hmm.
right audience. We've got hundreds of thousands of members, but they're not all getting a home equity loan
Hmm.
email, because not all of them need to get that. So we've got Mike, who does our data, and he's pulling different segments and everything, and really getting this high quality list to send through, and then it shows in the open rates that we get, and the click throughs that we get, and then
Yeah.
ultimately the conversions that we get out of it.
That's interesting because the segmenting it takes a lot of time on the front end, but it's probably the biggest thing that moves the needle, right? Is sending the right person the right message, obviously at the right time.
Yeah.
And that you guys can take the time to do that. I feel like that's missed by even just mortgage lenders, credit unions on that side. Did you guys did Arkansas Federal did they go through a rebrand? You know, a lot of these credit unions are going from Heritage Trust, Federal Credit Union to like Revix. Did they do that, or have they, or has it always been Arkansas Federal Credit Union?
Yeah, but before I got here, there was a moment that they were looking at kind of rebranding. Unfortunately, didn't go through, obviously. But there was talk that we might change the name so we could expand outside of Arkansas. I just get to hear the stories of that, so I'm not really sure the whole process of went into it, but we are expanding to other markets, such as Eastern Oklahoma, South Missouri, places like that, because
Hmm.
the state is so spread out. We're here in Little Rock in the central Arkansas area. And then all the growth right now is up in Northwest Arkansas, which is where the University of Arkansas is. Walmart's based out of there. Tyson, just all of these large corporations are based in that area, and we just actually opened a branch up there in Rogers. It was our second one in the area. And so we're seeing tremendous growth in that area, which is great because then we start marketing more up there,
Hmm.
and it's kind of some of the people that might work at Walmart might live in southern Missouri, right there on the border, or even on the border of Oklahoma, and so we're just seeing all of those new members come in from
Hmm.
just outside of Arkansas.
How much of how much is the need on the credit union side to have a physical branch in a new area? Do you feel like that's still needed as from a credit union? Do people, because people, if you bank at a big bank, national name the bank, you don't necessarily need a physical branch there. Do you feel like from a credit union standpoint that you guys need those physical branches or not so much anymore?
Yeah, we're still investing in brick and mortar branch locations. In fact, on Monday, June 23rd, we're opening up our 23rd branch in Russellville, which is probably about 60, 70 miles from Little Rock. And so that's kind of it's along the I-40 corridor
Hmm.
there, which we, have locations in Conway. Russellville will be this next stop, which will kind of fill in the gap because we also have two locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren, which is kind of right there on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma. So we're trying to fill in the gaps, where people are at, and then we're also expanding our digital advertising, into those markets.
Hmm. Do you still use the same Meta, Google? Is there anything new that email that you've seen that is working better than you thought, or are the old? Is it still Facebook? Is it still Meta and Google, or are you more on? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the Banking Bridge report, I mean, Google is still the top one out there.
Hmm.
Email is probably jockeying for first and second, as well in that. But we do use Meta, Facebook, Instagram ads for brand awareness,
Hmm.
getting people to the site, then retargeting them that way. So we're firing on all of the most popular advertising platforms out there. We're actually with Google Ads specifically, we're still doing a lot of search campaigns, but we are testing out a lot of their newer campaign objectives. One's called Performance Max, and that's one where it kind of takes everything that Google can do, from search ads to YouTube ads, to Gmail ads, and all of that, and kind of mixes it together, and you kind of let the algorithm do the work, to find customers for you and bring them in. And so we've been testing that with Auto Refi right now, seeing a lot of success with that, and so we'll start building out other campaigns here pretty soon, with the Performance Max objective.
Are you pushing into video a lot with doing your own videos or mini commercials or however you want to product commercials, just in-house, low budget, low cost? Or how do you feel about video and advertising?
Yeah, I personally love video. I think it's great when you can combine sight and sound together, and not just
Hmm.
a picture ad or anything like that. I mean, it's really the best of all worlds. And yeah, we're doubling down on video efforts this year. We just got done shooting some broadcast ready TV spots that will be airing on here on local affiliates, but then also those will be on YouTube, as well as Netflix and Hulu, and a lot of
Uh,
other places that we've been wanting to do video at. We have been doing our video ads before that in-house. We've got two great graphic designers that have built out. They're kind of uh, caricature based video ads. They're really fantastic. I mean, we're able to make them look great for horizontal and also vertical formats. So we, run those on Instagram, as well as Netflix and Hulu and YouTube, where we have those running right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And you guys, you have really embraced rates on your website. And from when we started and now you keep kind of pushing in. What is it about from a mortgage perspective within your website? Why do you feel like mortgage rates are needed in a website experience?
Yeah, so when I started here, I mean that was something that Valerie ingrained in me from the get-go is, making sure the rate is, you know, big and prominent on the page and that, people can see it because I mean a lot of times, people are just rate shopping uh
Mhm.
uh for these products. And so mortgage was the missing link on rates because it's kind of tough, like uh, before we had a web developer, we would have had to kind of figure out how to develop custom programming to tie into the rate engine, and so just a lot of work to make sure those are dynamic on the site, and the how we came to Banking Bridge is we started off with the kind of rate widgets that were built into to the rate engine that we're
Yeah.
using, thinking, okay, yeah, this will be an easy embed onto the site. And then it was like a week or two later, they told us about Banking Bridge, and I was like, holy cow, this is exactly what I want. I mean, it was super clean and modern and customized the brand colors, for us, and it just had a great display. And then for the rates, but then also um, the lead intake process for getting the lead into our system. I was like, man, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Like just
Mhm.
bring the best of both worlds, rates plus lead generation into one embed, and then we're good to go on that.
hmm What were you surprised, just in general across all the leads, how many leads you generate for the bank or the credit union? Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, yeah. Like when we first put it on, I mean, we were, getting leads right off the bat. Like, I mean, it wasn't kind of like,
Yeah,
hey, check in a couple days and see what came through. I mean, it was really instantly that
yeah.
that we were getting rates come through. So it's, it was something that people were eager to give us their info on, and wouldn't be a huge lift to like, okay, figure out how they're interacting with this, and if we're getting kind of any leads through it. I mean, we were filling up the mortgage pipeline very quickly
hmm
within a couple of days of having Banking Bridge on the site. And like I think April of this year was our best month ever.
hmm
And we had launched two new mortgage products in April: our 40-year mortgage, and then a zero down payment a mortgage as well. And so that just skyrocketed the number of leads that we got.
Wow.
And yeah, believe it was about 600 leads
Wow.
even on
Unbelievable.
that. Yeah, yeah. So
And that support, you got how many LOs? 4, 10, 12? How many LOs do you have?
yeah, about 13 or
Like 10,
14, I believe. Yeah,
13, 14. Yeah, that's
yeah.
impressive, man. You guys are awesome. All right, so I got to ask a question about AI. Have you guys dabbled in AI? Have you looked in some different ways that you're using it across any of the products, any of the markets? What is your thoughts on how you're utilizing AI, or what do you use it for every day if your team does?
Yeah. So when ChatGPT first came out, we a lot of people just jumped on it, and started kind of using it, and then our we ended up kind of limiting access to it after a certain point of it being out, and then I kind of went back to Valerie and the IT manager and just said, hey, look, we need to figure out how to embrace this, figure out what's going to work. We don't, want to upload any member data to it or, any sensitive info like that to it. So we need to figure out what the guardrails are going to be on it, because I could see us, not embracing it, right now when it's, hot, and then trying to catch up, in a couple years and kind of wondering, like, oh, we're really behind. So, much like all, financial organizations, we worked on a policy to bring it back, figure out the use cases for it. And so, we brought it back, and our IT teams are using it, as well as our marketing teams are using it. And, we're, everybody's a little different, I want to say, like, some of our team is using to kind of brainstorm ideas, do some research, that sort of thing. I'm doing a lot of that, but I'm also like having it write out code for me too. I've been out of the game for a while. I'm like writing JavaScript and things like that, and we get a lot of these requests for like different calculators that we want to put on the site and everything. So I've been going in ChatGPT and saying, hey, I need a calculator that does this and this and this. Here's kind of the thing, and boom, you get kind of a basic layout that we'll customize, but you're really getting the JavaScript code that's going to run all that. So that's really exciting. And that's when it just looks like an aha moment of like, oh my gosh, this thing is going to be super powerful for us.
Yeah, because that would have cost you whatever, I don't know, the 5,000. Get a developer,
Yeah.
get the retainer, pay the developer. It's a $5,000 project, and it is amazing. That's we use different things, but it's, to your point, it's awesome for brainstorming. It's awesome for giving ideas on copywriting, code projects like that. It's kind of what we see it and use it every day. So very cool, Robert. In closing, you guys knock it out of the park. You're doing a fantastic job. If you haven't already, go to Arkansas Federal Credit Union site, check it out. Check out the header navigation. Everything is really well done. It's well thought out. To your peers, would you say anything? The credit union space, anything that you see on the horizon? Does the future look bright for credit unions?
Yeah, I really think so. We just, are constantly taking care of our team first, and then if our team is taken care of, then the team is taking care of the members, is our whole philosophy. And we're just super excited about the tremendous growth that we have, and the all the I'm kind of jumbling here. I'm sorry. Let me start that over. But yeah, our philosophy is if we take care of our team, then the team will take care of the members. And we're doing that in all capacities, whether that's in retail, but absolutely in the website, making sure that we have information that they're looking for on the site. And then when they submit their lead info to us, then somebody is picking that up and taking care of them from that standpoint. So really trying to humanize a digital experience, which I think a lot of places have kind of gotten away from, to where you taking the human element out of it and then just letting people just kind of figure it out on their own. I mean, we've got people who will talk to you on the phone if you want to talk to on the phone, SMS, text messaging, or even our live chat on our website. So.
Well, great. Thanks for the time, Robert, and thanks for setting the standard high for your peers. So we always talk about you over here, and we point people to your site. So thanks for the time you gave us today and your insights.
Great. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert. See you.